the big question in this one is, will we actually manage to get out sailing or not? Some stuff about Storm Katie, which was a very powerful storm indeed, and some conversation about finance and the £200 billionaire. Right, so perfect, lots of daylight, weather's fine, nice southerly wind, being nice to go for a little quick sail, and it's not April Fool's Day, it's the 2nd, so just getting ready to go, switch the instruments on, and they don't work. So, instead of going out sailing, I'm playing with spaghetti, this horrible wiring mess I really do want to do up, and I'm not 100% sure, and then my multimeter didn't work, so sailing's out for today. Hopefully tomorrow, Sunday the 3rd, we'll get to go out. So this particular edition is a bit of a Schrodinger's cat edition. We don't know whether there's going to be sailing or not today. It is actually Sunday the 3rd of April. Things are looking good, but they looked okay for yesterday. Fixed the electrics. Things looked okay over the Easter break when I had my daughter down. But then the weather closed in and we had the most awful gale. So who knows, if there is some sailing, I'm going to put all the video together. If there's some sailing, I'll stick it at the end of the thing. So anyway, first of all, here's a few tips. Bank holiday Friday was fantastic. Daughter wasn't coming down until the next day, so I thought I'd spend the time actually just checking out the sails, putting the sails up, checking the reefing systems, etc. So let's have a quick look at that, shall we? So this is this is hoisting the mainsail, which is piece of cake on the Mirage 28. I mean, it is quite a small sail. I think they actually made it, my boat is the Mark 1, I think they made it larger for the Mark 2 version. So it's literally just to hoist it up, check that there were no sort of nasties that were about to happen, and it was literally just because it was a nice sunny day, and to be quite honest, I had very little else to do, so I thought I'd hoist the mainsail and then have a go at the reefing. So I put the reefing in before and I'd not really tried it out. So this is that's the first reef in. There is a bit of a problem with having to undo one of the sliders for both this and the second reef, which is coming up now, a lot smaller. Just a bit of a technical sort of glitch, which I think I've overcome, but I'll cover that in a later video. I think a lot of people live with it, but I'm not very happy with it. As I say, I'll cover that later. And then just to double make sure, it's a massive head sail actually. It's not a very good camera angle because it looks as if only a tiny bit of it is out, but that's probably, well, it's more than 20 odd feet worth, as you can see, because I think in a minute I kind of reach forward and actually touch it there. It's not a very good angle, but it comes out quite nicely. The roller gear is in good condition, and it is actually quite easy to get it back in again. Very easy sort of single-handed stuff. I've done it before in quite windy conditions out at sea, but I just like to every now and then just sort of have a go, have a fiddle with things. Obviously when I did get it out I had a really good sort of tour round, a look at the gear at the front and so on, and because there was bad weather, in fact it's something I do anyway, but once I've filled it up I don't rely on the furling to keep it together. I will actually then tie a rope around with a very strong knot to make sure that the head sail cannot escape. More of that later. So Easter Sunday, chocolate eggs and all the rest of the things, and the weather had looked as if it was alright for sailing, and then all of a sudden there were a few warnings because we had Storm Katie coming in, and we decided actually it'd probably be best not to, and we went and had a day trip out to Minehead instead, which I'll cover later. So but no matter how old you are and whether you're a qualified marine biologist or not, there's still a lot of joy to be had from the contents of a Kinder Egg.
I think they've actually built it wrong. Oh!
Okay. So what is it you're actually making? I've got no idea. So how long have you been doing it so far?
Since I woke up. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I built it. So Teddy, his head flips off.
And why? Why? Oh well, we've got another Kinder Egg to go. Well done.
I'm proud of myself today. I'm going back to bed now.
Yeah, so Storm Katie, that was a thing. Let's have a look at what happened here then. That was pretty powerful, and we seem to be getting one each month at the moment. So, in February we had Imogen, and March brought Katie, and this looked to be a little bit stronger, up to 70 miles an hour. In fact, after the effect, and this was Easter Monday morning, gusts of up to 106 miles an hour, about 60 miles an hour we think at the harbour. So what did Katie do? That famous book that I deny ever reading as a child. There were a few, obviously, sort of sails and stuff had been unfurled and so on, but most boats that were floating seemed to be okay. I normally I do always tie a big rope round with a knot just in case, but you can probably see from a couple of boats that were on the hard, the jaunty angle of those two masts leaning over to the right. That's not normal, and unfortunately a couple of boats had actually been blown over by the wind in the night, in the early hours of the morning. First looks, hopefully there wasn't too much damage. They seem to have tipped over to their side and sort of settled there without bashing too much, but not the sort of thing you want to see as a yacht owner, is it? It's not a pleasant sight at all, actually. So hopefully there's no damage sustained, but that really was a powerful storm, and we seem to be getting one every month at the moment, which is strange. I'm sure it didn't used to happen when I was a kid. Let's talk finances. A lot of people want to know how, and I did, how on earth you can afford to sort of live on a boat and so on, and actually finance your long-term sailing plan. Well, I think that the day of variety theatre is going to come back. I sense a huge revival, and I've actually been spending the last several months with a lovely little dog, belongs to a very good friend of mine, and we've developed this this variety act. She tells jokes. The little dog tells jokes. At the moment it's just the one, and it's not exactly perfect yet, but I think, you know, it's like those first steps. Once you kind of start getting it going, it really takes off from here. So let's have a look at a couple of takes. I did have to do about 100 takes to do this, but let's have a look at a couple of takes of Trixie telling her joke, which is going to make me a fortune, no doubt about that whatsoever. Trixie, why are pirates so mean? They just are. Good girl, good girl. Right, now let's do the proper one now. Why are pirates so mean? They just... That's right, they just are. Yeah, and just in case the whole dog variety act thing doesn't work, cutting your costs down, the £200 millionaire, the £200 millionaire. Have a look at one of the videos down below somewhere, depending on how you look at it, entitled something like The £200 Millionaire. It's a very good essay, actually. It is a serious essay, and I'd kind of treat it in a jokey way, but it's worth having a look at, having a read of, looking at, finding it on the internet. And it's kind of about living more frugally. So here's a quick clip about when I nearly ran out of money at the end of last month, just before being paid. Right, the £200 millionaire. We're at the end of the month. Pay comes in tomorrow. No money, almost no food left. Emergency rations time. The only time I've ever had a cup of soup and enjoyed it was actually whilst I was sailing, and it was a very cold day. Very, very quick to make up. And so I'm going to try this, because I bought this for an emergency ages ago. Minestrone soup. Instructions: empty sachet. 1. Empty a sachet into a cup or mug. Got one of those. 2. Add 200 millilitres boiling water. Yep, can do that. 3. Stir well. Wait a few moments in anticipation. And 4, this is what I love. So this is an instruction, so this isn't an option. Number 4 says, sit back and enjoy. So just in case it's absolutely disgusting, it doesn't matter, because the instructions say sit back and enjoy. If the instructions say it, then that is what will happen. I've had loads of correspondence about the unfortunate technical issue with the guitar clip from one of the early videos. Unfortunately, all of the correspondence was actually from me pretending to be other people, but it fooled me enough, so I've checked the technology, it's all fine, and let's have a look at me doing a Beatles classic. Yeah, sorry about last time, not quite sure what happened there, but I'm sure we can get this one sorted out. Blackbird sing. But stop! It seems that Schrödinger's cat is alive, well and doing fine. There was some sailing today. Let's have a quick peek. On the positive side, it's the first time with both sails up, and I'm not going to take the reef out of that because this really was just a little test sail, but I don't care. I'm out on a boat and I'm sailing, and that's good enough for me. Well, dear GoPro, apart from the fact that I wanted to do a quick video with the sails up, although that full sail looks awful, doesn't it? There's no wind. So, no wind. Well, you can't have everything, and I did manage to make some mortifyingly cringe-worthy mistakes, which I will show in the next video. I'll probably pop another one up in about 2 weeks' time. So hopefully this really is the start of some actual sailing.